So hi and welcome. My name is Shadi, and we will start lecture 2 uh, in our book Technology in Action, chapter 2, looking at computer and understanding its parts. Function of a computer, data versus information, bits and bytes, input devices, output devices, processing and storage. A computer are data processing devices. A computer have four major functions: gather data, user input data into a computer, process data into information, output data into information, store data and information. So the main four function of a computer is input, process, output, and storage. Input, process, output, and storage. So what's data versus information? Data represents of facts and figures or idea. Information organized meaningful data. So here we can see West Street, Minneapolis 123, Washington 55422 Derek. When we enter this data into a computer, the computer processes this data and organizes it in a meaningful way, and he output as a data, as information. So we have this college ID card. We have Derek Washington. We have his ID, his address, his phone number, and his sign-up signature. So data is meaningful fact. After we processing it in a computer, it becomes information. So input data, process data, output information. So bits and bytes, the language of a computer. A computer doesn't understand G, F, S, names, numbers. It understands 0 and 1. So when I press S on the keyboard, it understands 0. When I press G on the computer, it understands 1. So binary data, 0 and 1. So what's a byte? A byte is 8 bits. So this is a byte. Sorry, this is a bit, and this is a byte. A byte is 8 bits of this. So 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1, 0, 8, 8 digits. Each letter or number and character is a string of 8 zeros and 1. So here we can see the byte is 1 byte, can hold 1 character or a data. A kilobyte can hold 1000 bytes. A megabyte can hold 1 million byte. A gigabyte can hold 1 trillion byte. A terabyte can hold, a gigabyte can hold 1 billion bytes. A terabyte can hold 1 trillion bytes. A petabyte is more. A computer user only use a terabyte. This is the maximum data storage he will use. From the petabyte, exabyte, and zettabyte, only companies like Facebook use this much storage. So computer hardware. Hardware, any part of a computer you touch. If you can touch the screen, the keyboard, the mouse, this is all hardware. A computer software is a program that enables hardware to perform different tasks. We have two main types of software: application software and system software. So software is like Windows, it's like Linux, it's like Windows XP. So we have application and system software. We'll explain them further in a moment. Okay, just one moment. An application software is like it's like Windows. A system software is like Linux. It's a system software, you don't have any interaction with it. It's that software that tells your computer how to run. An application software is like Windows. It's like Microsoft Word. This is an application software. So this is a top level, this is a low level. You know, in the old days when you have a computer and it had a blue screen with lines, this is a system software. This is the software that tells your computer how to run. Types of computers: we have notebook, portable computer, desktop used in a single location, mainframes, and supercomputers, and embedded software. So a desktop, of course, all of you have a desktop computer. It's a single computer in a single location. A mainframe, however, supports hundreds of users simultaneously. A mainframe you can find it in your mobile cellular cellular telephone line. If it handle, Facebook use mainframes to handle the request of billions of users simultaneously. A supercomputer, however, perform complex calculation rapidly. So if I want to identify a person by his picture and compare it against an ID in a card, it can perform this against a database of billions of users in less than 1 minute. If I want to calculate a rocket launched from Earth to the moon in less than 1 minute, it can calculate this using probability. An embedded is a self-contained computer perform dedicated functions. So I know you can't see it, but here embedded computer is like your smartphone. If you have your iOS or Android, this is an embedded computer. It have systems, it have sensors, and can compute dedicated performance functions. Okay, of course. If you ever heard about an Arduino Uno or a Raspberry Pi, this is an embedded computer. Input device used to enter information or structure or instruction into a computer. Keyboard, mouse, pointing device, microphone, scanner, digital, and stylus. Keyboard, the QWERTY layout standard on the most PCs. Enhanced keyboard features. Notebook keys have alternative function when used in conjunction with FN. So we have specialty keyboards. We have keyboards like laser. You can see this laser here. When you press an N or a K or an F, it can detect your finger and output on the screen. Optical mouse, need no mouse pad, doesn't need a cleaning, trackable. Wireless mouse, don't use a wire. So a mouse can have a magnifier. You can zoom in, zoom out. Other input devices, game controller, touchscreen, digital pens. Image input, digital camera, camcorder, and cell phones. In your cell phone, we have a camera. This is a way to input your image into the application or the phone. So we have video conference like Zoom, for example, webcams, live videos, and so on. Sound input, microphones are used for podcast, video conference, internet phone calls, speech recognition. Input devices for the physically challenged, visual impairment, voice recognition. It can identify your voice. Keyboard with large keys, touchscreen, motor controls, special trackable. I knew someone who was physically impaired who used his eyes to control a computer. Output devices send processed data out of a computer, monitors, and printer. So if send processing data out of the computer. So the screen you can see, your screen as you can see it is a monitor. It's output information on it. Printers output information or data into a printer, into a paper you print. Output devices make soft copies, video, sound, control signals. Hard copies print. Monitor types, we have the LCD, liquid crystal display. This is the modern monitor you will find in your market, nearest market or computer mall. This is used to be the CRT cathode ray tube. Used to be heavy and it got hot really fast. It's in the 80s and 90s. You did find this screen. So we have the impact printer, dot matrix, non-impact printers, and special printers like all-in-one, plotter, and this is a plotter. Can you see it? This is a plotter. If you're in an engineering field and you need to print a large size print for your project about a house or a construction site, you did use a plotter. We have the inject and the laser. The laser is cheapest you have in your office, in your newspaper office, inkjet printer that print colors. We have the inject, less expensive devices, print high quality color images cost effectively. This is it. and the laser printer, more expensive devices, fast printing speed per minute, color laser are becoming less expensive. Choosing a printer: speed, print per minute, this is print per minute, resolution, DPI, color output, memory, use and cost and consumption. So the motherboard, this is important. This is always, we call this the CPU. It's a public term. So CPU, the motherboard contains the CPU, the RAM, the expansion card slots, and the built-in components. So here we have the memory model, the RAM, random access memory. We'll explain it further. We have the CPU, the control processing unit, also called the brain of the computer. Expansion slot, if you want to add a memory, extra memory to your computer, you put it in the expansion slot. And we have the built-in components. So what's the difference between a RAM and a ROM? Random access memory, RAM, stores instruction and data temporarily. Volatile storage consists of several memory card or modules. A read-only memory, ROM, stores start instruction permanently on a storage. So your computer, how do your computer start every time and he doesn't forget? Because he reads from the ROM, read-only memory. It can be, edited, or it can be altered, or anything like this. A random access memory, when you play a video game or play a video, it tells the computer on the RAM the user or the computer user is playing a video, and when you finish it removes this. Central processing unit, referred to as the brain of a computer, controls all functions of a computer, processes all commands and instructions, can perform billions of tasks per second. CPU performance measurement, speed in megahertz and gigahertz, core, single core, dual core, quad core. A core means this is CPU, this is one CPU. When I say single core, this is a single core. When I say dual core, it's 1 and 2. Quad 1, 2, 3, 4. Drive bay. Internal drive bays cannot be accessed from outside of the system, are reserved for internal hard drives. External hard drives can be accessed from outside of the system, CDs, DVDs, and extra flash cards. So hard drive, permanent non-volatile storage. So I want you to understand this is a hard drive, a hard HDD hard drive. This is was the old version. It had many disadvantages, which was that it consume high electricity, make very loud noise, and if you dropped it was damaged forever. You cannot retrieve your data from it. On the other hand, we have the SSD hard drive, which is used a laser or light emitted diode to store data. It consumes less electricity, it doesn't emit any noise, and is better. And if you dropped it, it will not destroy the data. Optical storage, CDs, digital video discs, and Blu-rays. So what's different between a CD, a digital video discs, and a Blu-ray? Blu-ray was used in companies, large companies like Facebook, to store data or music, because it has a very large storage capacity. Digital video discs used to make video games. It have between 4.5 gigabytes of storage. A compact CD disc have about megabyte storage. Flash drives, jump drives, newer storage alternative, plug into USB. Flash memory cards slide into slots. I forgot to tell you that a slot is any port in a computer. Anything you plug into a computer, this is called a slot or a port. So this here, can you see it with the mouse? Either slot or a port, slot or a port, slot or a port. You can plug it into your USB, your mouse. This is a slot or a port. This is important. So USB, serial and parallel audio and video firewire, connectivity, Ethernet, and modem. Back in the old days, you need to have a modem to access the internet. which is a device that you plug into your computer to turn analog signal of the telephone to digital signal. Adding ports. You can add a port to your computer by an expansion card, expansion hubs, to add more ports to a computer. This is a USB port or a slot. Power on buttons turns on a system should not be used to turn off your computer, called a cold boot. When you have your computer freezes, you press and hold on the power button until it shuts down. You should never do this until or only in emergencies. Okay, chapter 2 summary. What exactly is a computer and what are the four main functions? A computer is a processing device and the four main functions is input, process, output, and storage. What is the difference between data and information? Data are facts, information are organized, meaningful data a human can understand. What are bits and bytes? A bit is 0 and 1. A byte is 8 bits of data. And how are they measured? They are measured in zeros and 1, on and off. What devices do I use to get data into a computer? Input devices. What devices I use to get information out of a computer? Output devices. What is a motherboard? A motherboard is the central board that contains all computers' internals, like the CPU, the expansion slots, the memory, the RAM, the ROM. What are the programs and information stored? They are stored on the hard drive. What are devices connected to a computer? They are called expansion slots. They are called flash drives. How do I set up my computer to avoid strain and injury? Don't ever cold boot it or press the power button for a long time to shut down. And that we have finished our chapter 2. If you need anything, please comment down below and I will answer you. Thank you so much. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel.